So this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Blow Up 1966, starring David Hemmings, Sarah Miles, Vanessa Redgrave, and Peter Boyles, and the Yardbirds. This is going to be one of those artsy art house type flicks that tries to say perception is not reality, which is kind of a nihilistic way of I guess philosophy, epistemology. Typical 1966 crap. Even the Yardbirds music wasn't that great in this movie. I hated it. I gave it 1 out of 5 stars. It's about a photographer, David Hemmings. He photographs models. They all look anorexic with the bones popping out. Even Vanessa Redgrave is like that. And I guess the popularity of Twiggy is to blame for all of this. But that's not it. That's just the backdrop story. It starts out with David Hemmings kind of wearing some raggedy clothes with holes in it. He looks like a tramp or a bum in London. And I guess he's photographing all the lowlifes in London. He's making a book or something for this dude Ron, played by Peter Boyles. And then he goes to some antique shop to buy junk. First he wants a landscape painting, but the owner isn't there when he arrives. So on a fly, he just buys a wooden propeller, and for no apparent reason other than to stick it in his flat or where he takes photographs of half-nude women. And this film is significant because it's the first major mainstream type film to show a woman's pubic hair. That's about the only significant redeeming value of this flick. Otherwise, it's boring as hell. It's like watching a 1 hour, 51 minutes Radley Metzger jet set type flick. So getting back to the story, the so-called plot or whatever this thing is, it actually starts out with a bunch of mimes in like a Jeep or a military truck. You go driving around and making noise. And then they do their mime routine at the end with the tennis set. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah. It's not much of an ending unless you're some kind of hippie philosopher type person. That's just not me. Oh, by the way, I got my hair cut today. Now I look like Jonah Jameson from the Spider-Man cartoon of about the same time, 1966. And my tie date flaked on me. She said she was going to call me or send me a message last night. Of course, it never happened. So I guess we're done. I got to start dating other women who are not as flaky, which is difficult. But 31 chubby 5-foot Thai girl is out of the question, I suppose. Anyway, getting back to the story. So David Hemmings not only likes to photograph fashion models, but he also likes to take pictures of ordinary casual scenes. he's in the park and he takes a picture of Vanessa Redgrave and her picadillo kind of on the sights type boyfriend. How could I say her her secret affair boyfriend? I guess they're kissing and holding each other in the park, in the middle of the park. But then Vanessa Redgrave turns back, and so meanwhile, David Hemmings is like hiding behind the tree, but not really. He's kind of to the side of the tree, taking pictures of the whole time, snapshots of this park with the two lovers in the middle. Vanessa Redgrave keeps turning back, like I said, and finally, Vanessa Redgrave sees him in the park, starts chasing him down, starts demanding the pictures and whatever. Even grabs his camera, and then she follows him back to his house. He's driving around. It's kind of odd in the beginning because he's driving. He looks like a bum or a tramp, and he's driving around this Rolls Royce type car. But you don't really figure out why he's dressed up like that until later on when he meets his buddy Ron. But anyway, she follows him back to his place, and damn, this movie's long. It's a lot of standing around and not much action or dialogue, but I guess can't expect much from a European type art house flick like this. And so he's like playing the jazzy record and giving her some wine. They're smoking a cigarette. She takes off her blouse and get split second flash scenes of her ugly pink nipple. But mostly it's her bony back that you see. And she's covering up her chest because she's Vanessa Redgrave. She's better than you, so only the relatively unknown girls who are chasing him around, those are the ones who strip butt naked. Of course, Vanessa Redgrave is too important for that, so she's always covering up her breasts with her arms and whatnot. And then she just takes off out of the blue, and so David Hemmings is like studying these pictures close up. He sees a dead body and some guy with a gun like hanging out in the bushes. Extreme close-up shots of the bushes in the park. So he goes there, he finds the corpse, and then he bumps into the Yardbirds. He bumps into his buddy Ron at some kind of Radley Metzger type jet set party from 1966. Everybody's smoking Maui Wowie or pot or whatever you want to call it. And so he's kind of laid out in the bed. Everybody's gone by then. Then he goes back to the park, and of course the body's not there. So I guess the whole point of the flick is to question perception versus reality, which doesn't make sense. At least not to me anyway. I'm more of a realistic person. or a rationalist, I guess you would say. Um, so I hated the movie. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't really understand it really until I read the review on IMDb. What the point of the entire movie was. I still don't understand it after reading the review, but at least from the perspective of the director, um, it sort of makes sense why the director would make this kind of flick. I guess he wanted to impose his personal beliefs on the viewer there. You know, make a movie philosophy lesson out of a movie, whatever. Um, and the whole Yardbirds and the party scene at the end kind of reminded me of Fellini a little bit. Maybe Radley Metzger type of boredom. Just people sitting around and putzing around, not doing anything productive, that kind of thing. I'm not a big Yardbirds fan, let's say. And the orgy scene on the or the pretend rape scene on the purple paper thing was kind of ridiculous. Those two uh, those two youngin' white bitches with moles and bones popping out of their back. That was the scene where she shows her muff for a split second. That was supposed to be a big deal back in 1966. Yeah, you look at all the exploitation movies from the 60s. Man, this is nothing. It's only the lamestream movies that get all the attention like this. But actually, the low budget rape slash orgy type movies, maybe Michael Finley type stuff. That stuff is better than this by far. I mean, just because you throw in a couple of nude scenes doesn't make it a great movie, especially with ugly white women like Vanessa Redgrave. She's one of those free Palestine type people, along with her buddy Jane Fonda, Hanoi Jane. With company like that, not a big fan of Vanessa Redgrave, not because she's anti-Zionist per se, but I guess if you got people like Yasser Arafat in charge of Palestine, it's not much better than the Israeli government per se, especially when both sides are getting foreign aid from the U.S. government, that kind of thing. But enough about politics and philosophy and dating or lack thereof. I guess in about an hour or so, since I can presume my Thai dream girl is gone forever, unless I bump into her when she's working at the Thai restaurant or by Union Square, Japantown. Um, yeah, so on to bigger and better things. I got divorce trial scheduled for Monday, June 15th. Got to prepare for that. My lawyer removed himself from the case. Now I'm representing myself. So The never-ending saga continues. Seems like the more it drags on, the more corrupt and inept it becomes, which is good for me and my son, but he might have to wait about 5 years before he finally gets to live with me, which is unfortunate, but it's just the way government works, I guess. And that's the end of my review, and enough about my personal life. You probably don't care. But I thought David Hemmings was good in Deep Red. I've seen another one of his movies where he plays in a band. I forget what it's called. Um, but I've reviewed it before. He's a pretty decent actor, but I guess I was reading about this film. You know, Sean Connery was cast for this role. The stupid director only gave him like 7 pages in a cigarette box or something ridiculous. So Sean Connery didn't even know what the script was. And of course, Sean Connery went on to make Zardoz, which is a great cult film. I wonder what this movie would have been like without David Hemmings, you know, with Sean Connery. But anyway, probably would have hated it just as much, actually. I'm not a big Sean Connery fan to begin with. He was good in Zardoz, like I said, and David Hemmings was good in Deep Red, but it was kind of interesting to see what London was like in 1966. Yeah, but I don't know. It wasn't like Blast of Silence, you know, a lot of walking around New York City before they planted trees and stuff. It wasn't like that. It was more like just watching a really bad Radley Mexter type flick or a Federico Fellini type flick. It's not in black and white, so maybe it should have been shot in black and white. I don't know. Anyway, that's the end of my review. Laters.